Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive into the fascinating world of digital health. This time, we're exploring how digital health is revolutionizing the world of pharmacy. And I've got to say, after digging into this primer, I'm pretty pumped about the future.
Yeah, it's really incredible how fast things are changing.
For sure. Like, just think about scheduling doctor's appointments. I mean, it really wasn't that long ago we were stuck calling during business hours and
Yeah.
hoping to get someone on the line.
Now
Now,
you just hop on an app and
mm,
book it right into their schedule.
yeah.
That's amazing how normal that is now, and healthcare in general is just becoming more and more like that every day. This primer really lays out how big this shift is. It's way more than just telehealth or fitness trackers, right?
Oh, absolutely. Way more. It feels like we're talking about a fundamental shift in how healthcare is delivered.
Exactly. We're talking about integrating technology into every single part of healthcare, from how our data is collected to how we receive treatment. It's all changing. It's becoming just how healthcare, like online banking is just banking now.
Yeah, you're right. I can't even remember the last time I went inside a bank. So, digital health is basically becoming dot healthcare.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. Electronic health records are already the norm, but it's going to get even more wild when you factor in things like AI analyzing your health data and giving us insights with digital biomarkers.
Okay, now you're talking. Digital biomarkers, that sounds straight out of Star Trek.
Haha. Right. Well, maybe not quite at tricorder level yet. But think about this. What if instead of only seeing a doctor when you're already feeling sick, you had a wearable device that could track, let's say, your heart rate variability?
Heart rate variability, what's that?
It's a way to measure all the tiny changes in time between your heartbeats.
Yes.
And you know what? Those tiny changes can actually tell us a lot about your overall health. Like imagine your device sees a weird pattern that could be a sign of stress or even like the very beginnings of a heart problem. It could alert your doctor and they could step in before anything serious even happens.
Wow. So you're saying that's the real power of digital health, right? Not just reacting to us being sick, but continuously monitoring and catching things early.
Yes, exactly. And this whole idea of continuous care is going to completely change how we handle chronic conditions. Just imagine for a second a patient with COPD using a smart inhaler that lets their pharmacist keep an eye on their lung function, and if they're taking their meds properly, all remotely and in real time. If something looks off, boom, the pharmacist can adjust their meds or get them a telehealth appointment before it becomes an emergency.
That's amazing. So instead of just dealing with problems, digital health lets us get ahead of them. I love that. But what about all the direct-to-consumer stuff? I mean, don't get me wrong, ordering my prescriptions online is super convenient. But isn't that kind of a problem for pharmacists?
It's a really interesting question because on one hand, it's making healthcare way more accessible,
Yeah.
which is amazing, but it also makes you wonder, where does the pharmacist fit in when anyone can just get their meds online?
That's what I'm wondering. It feels like pharmacists are going to have to get really creative and start offering their services online, too.
Yes, 100%. Think about pharmacists becoming digital health guides, offering things like telepharmacy services and becoming experts in medication management for people who are using these platforms. It's about taking this new tech and using it to make their care even more personalized.
It's like pharmacists are becoming digital health superheroes, using technology to fight for their patients.
I love that analogy. And you know what one of their biggest superpowers is going to be? Data, especially the kind we're getting from these digital biomarkers. It's like having clues to solve a health mystery.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. So my smartwatch that's tracking how I sleep, or my friend's CGM that tracks their glucose, that's all giving valuable info to pharmacists.
Exactly. And it gets really interesting because let's say you've got a patient with diabetes using that CGM we were just talking about. Their pharmacist can actually watch their blood sugar levels change in real time. Let's say they see a big spike after a meal. Boom, they can step in and give that patient some advice on maybe changing when they eat or how much. Or if they're noticing their levels always seem to dip down at night, they can talk to the patient and their doctor about adjusting their insulin.
Wow, okay, that's pretty wild. It's like having your own personal health detective working out all the clues.
Uh-huh, I like that. And it's not even just about reacting like that. Imagine a world where your pharmacist can use all this data to see problems before they even happen.
Okay, now that sounds like science fiction. How would they even do that?
All right, let's go back to that patient with diabetes. Let's say their pharmacist is looking at all this CGM data and notices their blood sugar is getting kind of erratic. Could be a sign that they're at risk for, really low blood sugar. But then they look at the data from their activity tracker and their sleep tracker and say they see they've been working out more or not sleeping too well, the pharmacist can put all that together, figure out what the triggers are, and work with the patient to head it off at the pass. Maybe change their medication, maybe change some habits. It's amazing.
It is amazing. I can't believe how far things have come. But we can't talk about the future of all this without talking about AI, can we?
Absolutely not.
Hmm.
AI is going to change everything about how we use all this data. Imagine an AI that can look at everything.
Yeah.
Your smartwatch data, your CGM, your electronic health record. It can build this whole picture of you and point out risks and suggest things you can do to stay healthy.
That's incredible. It's like everyone's going to have a super smart assistant giving them and their doctor the full story of their health.
Totally. And AI can even help us come up with brand new treatments. Like, have you heard of digital therapeutics?
Digital what now?
Digital therapeutic. Basically, they're like software programs, but they're designed to treat or prevent actual medical conditions.
So instead of taking a pill, you get an app.
Kind of. They use all these strategies that are actually backed by science to help people change their behavior. Like, they've got clinically validated apps now for people who have insomnia. They might use CBT, relaxation stuff, all kinds of things to help people get better sleep without relying on medication.
It's like having a therapist right there on your phone. But with all this talk about data and AI, what happens to pharmacists? It seems like a lot of what they do could just be automated at this point.
You know, a lot of people are asking that question, but honestly, it's kind of the opposite. Sure, some things might get automated, but the pharmacist is going to be even more important.
Really? How so?
Think about it. As we gather more and more data, as we personalize treatments even more, someone has to be there to actually make sense of it all. Someone has to be that bridge between the patient and all this new tech and make sure the right treatment is going to the right person at the right time. And that's where the pharmacist comes in.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. So they're not counting pills all day. They're becoming experts in all this tech so they can give even better, more personalized care. That's a pretty amazing career change.
It is. Pharmacists are in a perfect position to be leaders in this new world. They already have the knowledge and the training, and most importantly, their patients trust them. Now they get to take all that and use it in a whole new way.
It's not about replacing people with robots. It's about giving them the tools to be the best they can be. I like it.
And the best part is, it's already happening. Pharmacists are taking on new roles, becoming medication experts and educators. They're the guides leading us all through this new frontier of digital health.
It's amazing to think about all the possibilities. It really feels like we're on the edge of a healthcare revolution, and pharmacists are leading the charge.
They really are. And that whole image we have of a pharmacist in a white coat counting out pills, I think that's going to be a thing of the past very soon.
I can definitely see that. So, if they're not counting pills all day, what will the pharmacist of the future look like?
They're going to be clinical consultants, there'll be data interpreters, there'll be medication optimization specialists. Basically, they'll be using all this incredible tech to personalize medication therapy in ways we haven't even imagined yet.
I'm really starting to get how big this shift is. It's so much more than just filling prescriptions now. It's about using every tool we have to make sure people are getting the best, most effective medications for them. Pharmacists are becoming like advocates for their patients in this digital world.
Yes. And as we get better at things like genetic testing and we start using even more data from wearables and things like that, pharmacists will be able to stay even further ahead of any issues. Like, imagine a patient starts taking a new medication. In the future, their pharmacist could look at all their data and say, looks like you might have a side effect from this. Or, you know what, this might interact with something else you're taking, and fix it before it even becomes a problem.
Wow. It's like they'll have a personalized crystal ball for medication. But that's a lot to keep up with. It seems like pharmacists are going to have to learn a whole new set of skills, almost like they're becoming data scientists or AI specialists on top of everything else.
It's true. They're going to have to be comfortable with technology.
Yeah.
To really thrive in this new world, pharmacists will need to be constantly learning and growing and keeping up with all the new advances.
It sounds exciting and a little bit intimidating all at the same time. But one thing is for sure, pharmacists are more valuable than ever. It's not just about handing someone their medication anymore. They need to be experts in so many things. Data, technology, personalized care, all of it.
Exactly. And that's what makes this such an incredible time for pharmacy. We're seeing this whole new generation of pharmacists who are embracing the changes and using technology to take better care of their patients than ever before. It's really inspiring.
It really is. Well, this has been an amazing deep dive into digital health. We've covered so much: AI, personalized medicine, the evolving role of pharmacists. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
It's a future full of amazing possibilities, and I, for one, can't wait to see what happens.
Me neither. And to everyone listening, if your curiosity is as fired up about the future of pharmacy as mine is now, make sure you check out our show notes. We'll have links to that digital health primer we were talking about so you can really dig in. Until next time, stay curious and keep asking questions.